So first, there's in a sense an emptiness of the void. What I mean by that is that it is seen and it's all just happening and it's all very black and white. And then as you travel further away from an awakening or liberation or whatever you want to call it, you realize a very real fullness to the void, that there's colors, there's thoughts, there's feelings, there's emotions. And what happens is you start seeing so much more. So it's not just an awakening, it's an awakening, but then it's so much more. It grows. It's not liberation, it's more than liberation. It's the beginning of something. Um, and in that, what can happen is a way of making sense as to what is happening starts coming into your life. Now, one of the things have been saying a lot to people at talks is about following the trail. So whatever it is you are doing, the most efficient way is to actually just follow on a moment by moment, thought by thought, feeling by feeling, emotion by emotion um, trail. So, if I want a cup of tea, I'll go and get myself a cup of tea. If I want to record a video, I record a video. I remember meeting a psychic many, many years ago, and he said that most of these big psychics, when they first start, they're working with spirit. It's when the idea of you comes into it, and you feel you've got to channel messages and all this stuff, that it invariably falls down, which is a massive clue on how to become successful in whatever you're looking to do. Literally honor the moment and honor whatever you're feeling. The mind, the ego, thoughts, feelings, we've got to, like we've got to stop these and we've got to still the mind. Is all very well, but they're always going to be there. So work with them. So if I feel I want to go for a walk, I'll go for a walk. If I feel I've got to stand at a certain place, I'll stand at a certain place. If I feel I've got to record a video, I'll record a video. And what you'll find is you, in a sense, almost start conversing with your beloved. It says in the Quran, verily there are signs for men of understanding. And what that basically says is consciousness is you, you are conscious. And after a while, when you start engaging it, the idea of separation starts transcending when you realize that it's all here. But within this fullness of what's happening here, all questions and answers and problems and solutions are all happening right there. So you then find a very real definitive way of working, a definitive way of being. And you realize that no emotion, thought, or feeling is out of bounds. Freedom is this according to some people, but it's not that. So it's being about blissful, but it's not being about angry. It's not about being angry. But sometimes you'll find the amazing release that you get from anger afterwards is incredible. It's better than a deep meditation session, because you just vented and then you're just like, well, don't I feel stupid? And then, there's that relax and stuff. So life has a built-in system of allowing us to reveal ourselves at every turn to ourselves, or as Rumi said, wherever I turn, I see the face of my beloved. And there is this constant revealing, but it's about trusting that, and that's where following the trail happens. We've so been conditioned into listening to the other and being told, well, no, I've got to do this, and it's something that's crept into the spiritual endeavor as well. You've got to be mindfulness. You've got to empty your thoughts. No, you don't have to do anything. You can just be you. And when you can wrest back that control from the method, the teacher, the pointer that's slavishly trying to point you to a state. I mean, I did a live stream in which I talked about, a certain guru sitting in a certain land and you're sitting here, wherever you're sitting, and how he couldn't live your story and vice versa. And yet we want our stories to be exactly like them, and yet there's nothing in our story that would actually allow that occurrence to happen to us. The awakening on the side of a hill isn't going to be happening to you if you're living in London and you're on a commuter train. An awakening is going to be a different thing if a tall awakening is needed. And that basically says that in honoring the moment, you are honoring yourself. And whatever is emanating from you should be honored. It shouldn't be denied. So it's perfectly okay to be angry. It's perfectly okay to feel happy. It's perfectly okay to feel sad. It's perfectly okay to want to sit there on a sofa and do absolutely nothing, but it's making sense to you. Because you may find that in that silence and doing nothing, everything is happening. The subconscious mind is taken over, if you want to look at it psychologically, and it's taking care. The whole letting go and let God could be now seen as a psychological process. The subconscious mind is taken over, and we're so much more. So sometimes I can be walking down the street and I'll have a thought. Now I wonder why that thought's entered my head, and then I'll see a car go past with just the right message on there, which is what actually triggered that thought in me. So separation has its place, and it's two-way traffic. It's never one-way traffic. It's not just about me, and it's not just about consciousness. You move between the 2 points. And I think there's an Indian sage who said, between this and that, my life moves between these. So it's something I've been saying a lot as well, is that don't try to hold on to something. Don't try to hold on to a perspective, a movement, a teacher, or whatever. Travel lightly, but also hold lightly as well. So yes, I've made a video about following the trail. The next video might be about something completely elsewhere because you're holding, but you're holding very lightly. So I need that idea. I'll use, okay, I'll put it back. I'll then take that and that and that. That's true freedom because freedom moves. I was just having a really lovely discussion with a friend of mine, and we were talking about how somebody was taking a certain method and then they were bringing it into a certain ritual, and they were bringing it into the 21st century by basically adding a certain different element. As long as the essence is right, and let's be honest, essence doesn't change, it's perfect, it's whole, it's complete, it's not something that's ever going to be destroyed. Is it wrong if an innovation happens there? Because remember, freedom will take you down the path that it needs to take you. I was asked yesterday, there was a certain teacher and somebody asked, well, I always wondered why they wore clothes like that, because you will always be in the right place at the right time, wearing the right thing, being the right thing, and having the uniform you need to be wearing in order to talk to the people that you need to. Sometimes somebody can come to you and I say, well, I really resonate with you, and that's total. The talk, the clothes, the watch, the shoes, the whatever. And then other people can come along and kind of, well, no, you're not really doing it for me, but guess what? That guy over there is talking in a way that really makes sense, or she's making sense and stuff. But that, again, basically points to you that you need to, in a sense, follow the trail. And as that trail goes live, you'll realize where you need to go next. You'll realize how you need to be. And then if you need to so-called complete a journey, you'll realize it's here and now. By trusting yourself and by following your trail, however you want to put it, it will just come to pass that you will find that I am the very thing I seek. Because the trail could be an internal one. It's going inwards. You're journeying, but there's a journey inwards. It could be a journey outwards. But again, it's about trusting yourself. So if you feel that need to have a cup of tea, go do that. Don't try to get yourself constrained by societal norms. If you want to work in a job and amass loads of money, but your spiritual other half is telling you that's wrong, well, you know what? Sod you, I'm doing what's right for me. Because what you'll find is when you become authentic and real and more look to reveal what you truly are, there's a very real humility, there's a very real sense of compassion, and that emanates, and it allows you to, in a sense, just be real to what you actually are and see that the limits that you've imposed upon yourself aren't real. There's so much more. You're constantly, in a sense, being expanded out to sort of like say, well, look, this isn't real about you, this isn't real about you, this isn't real. And then doing that, you transcend a lot of things and realize that you are this consciousness, or you are whatever you are, however you wish to describe it. Because again, we get so hung up on descriptions and trying to be a certain way, which is so alien to what we are, that we wonder why we never find what we're looking for. And sometimes in honoring ourselves and honoring our authenticity, and even this following your trail, I mean, if it sounds like a technique, discard it. But being basically true to yourself sometimes gets you the fastest results. My biggest breakthrough was when, having no teacher around me and being in a place where I had absolutely nothing, I realized that I needed to go free. I needed that. And I was able to actually talk to myself and I said, well, oh, damn, Zach, what is it you need? Oh, I need to go free. And that was half the journey done there. But sometimes we're so slavishly following a method or a technique, or we've read something out of a book, or and we don't understand it, that we're hopping from one foot to the other. I met a brother recently, and he's probably one of the most confused people you'll ever meet, because he's reading so much that it's like, I've got to be this, but I've also got to be this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. No, you need to be yourself first. But it's incredible how when we take on a technique or a point or a method or a guru or whatever, we compromise ourselves. So I've been talking about following the trail recently, and it is really as simple as do what you feel like doing. And I thought I'd record a video about it today, and it feels right to record this video, it feels right to upload it, I'll upload it. If then for the rest of the day I want to go and sit in a park and eat ice cream, I'll do that. But then it may be that later on today I'll just be in this frenzy of activity. The last 3 weeks I've been traveling up and down the country doing talks, and I knew that at some point life would just naturally build in a break. And what I found is that I've just had a couple of days with some lovely friends, just hanging out and doing what I do. And yet I have a lot of people going, wow, you seem to be always on Facebook, and you all seem to be doing videos and this, again, in honoring it. Because what you'll find is the efficiency in honoring the moment, the efficiency in following the trail, is that you will never waste an action. And there's true compassion in that. It's not as selfish as it sounds. There's true compassion. There's a humility in that as well, because you kind of realize that there's something bigger than us out there. You know, call it a benevolent God, a conscious, and then as you tap into that, you realize it's you. And yet at the same time you can let go and let God. It's interchangeable again. It's like, in a sense, holding so lightly. You're never trying to grab hold of something and go, that's mine. The clenching of I've got to be free or I've got to be awakened dies, and it's just the hands are open and it's just, yes, okay, this, and it makes sense. Again, verily there are signs. And it's about almost opening your eyes up and seeing for the first time and realizing that yes, life is always happening. It's happening as and how it's happening. It's continuous, and there's so much as to what you are. And then you become, in a sense, a question and answer onto yourself. You know, like I say to a lot of people, you know, you need a guru, you need a teaching until you realize, you get to that place where you realize that you're actualized, and you realize that, hold on, what would I do? When I do happens and you start following the trail, you realize, hold on, I've got to do this, and life isn't as hard as you thought it was, but you have to trust it, or you have to trust yourself. And unfortunately, the way we've been conditioned, a lot of people are looking for answers outside themselves. If it's in a book, even those going, no, it's all in me, are using a soundbite that they heard from someone else. So honor yourself, honor your authenticity, and follow your trail, however, wherever it takes you. And with that, I will sign out and say thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to the channel. Pop along. I'm doing meetings now, so you know I'm making some really good friends up and down the country. So yeah, I no doubt I'll see you at one of those. Um, and yes, thank you for being you, and thank you for being the most authentic and honourable and honoured moment of you. So have a good day.